Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Episode 107 of the Vacation Rental Blueprint. Thank you for everyone out there listening and everyone out there who's been sharing our podcast with people they know to learn more about self-managing and empowering competence and confidence within the vacation rental space. We are on episode 107. Trying to share as much of our knowledge and experiences as possible. And as always, I'm joined with my co-host, TC. Hello, TC. How's it going?
Great afternoon, everyone. I think today's a really interesting episode. I think today's going to be kind of that final piece of laying the foundation. And then in the future, I think our listeners can look forward to how do we put this all together to drive some very meaningful profits. But this is a really important piece of that foundation and looking forward to it.
Well, and this is that episode where, our listeners have, reached out and a handful have said, "Hey, I'd love to self-manage. I would really love to self-manage. What you guys are talking about. This is great, but I live in another state from where I own my property." And I think that's, the technology piece is the real connector. TC, I know you leverage technology better than most that I've talked to, and you've got properties outside of your home state, and I don't know if that would be possible if you didn't have these technology integrations built into your space.
When I first started down the path of self-managing vacation rentals, this was one of my big worries is how do I do so many of these things remotely? And we discovered some great technologies. We're going to share those today. But what's really exciting is more and more technologies continue to be offered in this space. And we'll share some of the newest ones that we've started to capitalize on. And I think the technology that's being driven into the space means great things for the owners that really wants to self-manage. I'm pretty excited about it, and we've had some tremendous success stories that we can share today.
And first and foremost, the technology integration, and I think episode 106, we talked about cleaning. I mean, I mean, that was a huge episode and a very important episode, a cornerstone episode. But, the CleaningBnB, our sponsor, cleaningbnb.com, check them out. They leverage technology and they connect the cleaning companies to the owners. And, they have a similar mindset to us on, you can really successfully run and self-manage a vacation rental leveraging technology. And it's a similar strategy to all the companies and all the solutions we're going to talk about today. As a disclaimer, and just to make sure everyone is aware before we dive into this, this is not an episode talking about getting a glimpse into your guests necessarily staying within the space. This isn't a nanny cam episode. This is more putting the systems and technologies in place to effectively manage a guest stay while allowing that guest to enjoy their space and not feeling like there's a big brother component to where they're staying. Really being that seamless, low pressure. We have the technology in place to support the guest stay and make the guest stay as comfortable as possible. If at times that technology, helps inform us to reach out to the guest and make their experience better, we'll use that. But let's jump in. Let's really jump into walking through the house and talking about the technologies, TC specifically that you leverage in your homes, generally speaking, and then things we've heard from others. But I think that first touch point of any guest stay is walking up to the front door, having arrived at the home for the first time. So dig into that a little bit with what you utilize and what you've seen success with.
Yeah, I think a fun way to tell this story is through a guest experience. So we send out an email to our guests about 48 hours before they check in with check in information. And in that document is their 4-digit code to open the front door. Technology number one, a digital keypad on the front door. We also put one on the owner's closet so the cleaning company has access to it. But we'll come back to that later. So, email goes out. Here's your 4-digit code. The guest shows up. They enter their 4-digit code. They're in the house. You, the owner, get notified that the door's been open. You now have confidence that the guest was able to successfully enter your home. Now, before the guest checks in, I like to cool the house down during those warm summer months. So I'll go in and I'll lower the thermostat to 72 or 73 degrees to make sure the home is nice and cool for them when they enter the home. Technology number two, smart thermostats that you can control remotely. Wonderful asset to set the guest up for a nice entry into the home. Number three, if the guest is arriving a little bit late, I go in and I turn the light on in the foyer and the kitchen. Technology number three, smart lights that I can control remotely. Now, when the guest enters their 4-digit code and they walk into the nicely cooled home, there's also some lights on so they can navigate the home most appropriately. Something else I do is I want to make sure the pool heat is on for the guest so that if they want to enjoy it when they check in, the pool's already nice and warm. So I go in and I set the pool heat for 80 degrees and the spa for 98 degrees. Technology number four, remote control of your pool and your spa heat. These are all technologies that I worried about before I got really into running and self managing a short term rental business. But now these technologies have made it real straightforward to enhance the guest experience and to give the owner, myself in this case, the confidence that the guest is having a good experience. And we'll come back a little bit later in this episode and talk about how do we monitor all these things. But those are four immediate touch points that I've just found to be great pieces of technology to support the self manager.
Well, and I mean, going back to that email you send, and as you know, I totally stole that stole that email template from you and use it with my guests as well. But I think one of the great values to that is that you really set the tone nicely for the guest because it's not just, hey, here's your door code. You really provide an overview of the house they're about to walk into. And you use that also to set the expectations around the house and the technology present within the house to yes, amplify their experience and create a high level of hospitality for them, but also, you kind of inadvertently share with them some of the technologies you have in place that protect you as an owner. And it's a very nice communication that you put together, but it also does a great job of setting expectations. So, I think that's one of those pieces, that next layer of technologies that you've added, even with the smart thermostat. So many of our guests come in, and so many guests just who stay in hotels and vacation rentals come in and they crank they crank that AC down, or if you're in, more northern states, they ramp that heat up. But in our case, a lot of our properties, if we allowed them to, they would drop that AC down to 55 degrees, and you are able to put some protections in there, because what happens when a guest does that? Okay, they want to cool down, it's hot outside, let's drop that down to 55 degrees. Hey, let's also open the back sliding glass door. You're protecting your investment, and you're also protecting the guest stay from that, the condensers freezing up. And hopefully, if you're listening to this, you never had to deal with it, but it's a real issue where your condenser freezes up and your AC just essentially blows hot air and doesn't cool down the space. So, TC, I think you have some technology installed in your house that helps that, from the smart thermostat, but then also how it connects to some of the doors and windows within the house as well, correct?
Yeah, we have a technology called AC Guardian. And what happens with AC Guardian is if any door or window is left open, it automatically shuts down the air conditioning system and it sends me alert. And that alert allows me to reach out to the guest saying, hey, just be aware, by leaving a door or a window open, the AC is shut off. We do that because if the AC continues to run while you've got these doors and windows open, the unit will freeze up and you will be without air conditioning for a period of time until we can get a repair person out there. That has been an invaluable piece of technology. A second one that is new to the short term rental industry is called fresh air.
Ah,
Fresh
I love
air,
fresh air.
yeah, so do I. And fresh air used to be the technology that was only in the high end hotels. And recently, they made that technology available to the short term rental industry. What is it? Fresh air is the only scientifically proven smoking detection system for short term rentals, not smoke detection. That would be a smoke detector. This is smoking detection. So, any type of vaping, any type of smoking of cigarettes or other materials, these sensors pick up on that and they scientifically register it. And then you get an email where this has come in. And invaluable for me is I had a guest that smoked in the home. And that
Oh,
guest,
but TC, I didn't smoke. I was just burning popcorn, right?
and that just happened to be the story. And
I love this story.
these sensors will not pick up kitchen smoke. It'll not pick up burning popcorn.
Right.
BS, I say. BS. So we were able to pull up the report that fresh air generates. It showed what room, it showed what time of day, and it showed what was going on, AKA what was being smoked. I submitted that report to, in this case, Airbnb. And guess what? I got reimbursed very, very quickly because of the legitimacy of the information that was being provided. Fresh Air Technology, that is a legit program. And the amount that I paid for those devices, I more than recouped with this one instance where Airbnb reimbursed me the full amount of smoke remediation and all the things that I had to do to get the house ready for the next guest. Great technology. Last one is called Minute, Minut. Minute is a noise level monitor. So, in the area that our vacation home is in, there is a noise ordinance. Noise can't exceed a certain decibel level outside the home, inside the home. Minute, Minut, monitors the noise level. And if it's exceeded, I get notified instantly. I can reach out to the guest. Here's a cool feature. This is a new one. It also monitors occupancy level. How does it do that? It's reading the number of devices that connects to the internet in the home. And they use the number of devices connecting and they translate that to an occupancy level. And they send you a heads up, an alert, if the technology believes that the occupancy level exceeds that which you have set as a guideline for your home. Once again, it allows me to reach out to the guest and say, "Hey, what's going on? Seems like you got a party going on. Cut it out." So
Right.
these technologies are things that really allow a owner who's decided to self-manage to keep a very close eye on what's going on, no matter how far away you are from the home. It's pretty cool.
I think of everyone listening and their interest in self-managing, and they're entering into the space, maybe they're buying their home, maybe they've already bought their home and they're operating it and they're looking at, okay, well, I need to retrofit this. There's some people out there that are go, damn, TC, this sounds really expensive. And so talk a little bit about, this kind of goes back to what we've been talking about for 7 episodes now, what we're going to continue talking about. It's about how you build your business model and what you prioritize as the necessary and important expenses that you add into your business model as you get your business up and running. If you're going to make investments invest in these technologies because it's going to allow you to self manage, and self managing versus property managing uh, probably pays for itself and more than pays for the technology add into your business, wouldn't you say?
It really does. And, the way I thought about this and the way I continue to think about it, there's a lot more technology out there. I wanted to make sure that I was installing and utilizing the technologies that will add value to my ability to self manage. So, none of the things that we've mentioned is fluff. These are all very functional items that allow me to solve real problems. Getting a guest in the house, digital key locks, being able to monitor the temperature in the home. That's a real key component to protecting the longevity of your HVAC system. All of these technologies either solve problems for your guest or they give you insight into compliance with the rules and the guidelines that you've set out for your home. Noise level, no smoking, occupancy level. Those are key pieces of being able to manage a rental business very successfully when you are remote. And again, yes, there's an investment up front. Depends on the technology you put in. There is an investment up front, but these technologies are allowing me to not have to use a property manager. And that's the piece I'm going to continue to come back to is I'm utilizing those things that allow me to be a successful self-manager, and that's what we're here for.
And I think too that when you look at these expenses, it's so valuable, to ease your concerns as an owner. As business owners, we maybe worry about our investments. We worry about our businesses. I know getting into it, one of my big concerns was I want to operate. I want to build a business around vacation rentals that are family focused, that create peaceful, safe, fun spaces for families to come together, share time, enjoy. For me, Central Florida and everything that Central Florida has to offer. I didn't want this to be a party house. And my biggest concern is waking up in the middle of the night and thinking, oh God, is there a party going on in my house? I won't know till my cleaning company shows up, till my inspector shows up. That doesn't give me a lot of confidence. That's just, that's going to keep me up at night and not allow me to get the sleep I want. So, these technologies do provide a peace of mind that you can effectively build the business you want to build. If you want to open up a party house, awesome, go for it. I think there's a business model there. You just really need a lot of reserves. But when we think about creating a vacation home for a family to make memories, these types of technologies being added to the space will only amplify the guest experience and then also give you the confidence that you're executing your business plan as you work to set it up. And so, TC, I think there's going to be the question also of, wait, so you monitor all of these individually, or do you have a centralized resource that you connect these to? What do you use to get as many of these technologies under one roof as you can?
And this is what makes it really straightforward for an owner wanting to self manage. I use the alarm.com platform. Think of it as a dashboard. This dashboard, otherwise known as alarm.com, it brings all these technologies into one dashboard so you can monitor everything and control everything from this one dashboard. And this is what's really made the fragmented piece of technology really come together in something that you can manage as an ecosystem. It's very straightforward to use. There's a small monthly fee associated with it, but I build that into my financial model. But when I log into alarm.com, I get to see everything that's going on and I'm able to make sure that everything is happening to create a great experience for the guest. And I'll tell you a story. The guest that's in the house right now, they left the house one evening and they were going to the parks. And I got a text and they said, "Hey, we're not sure we locked the front door. We really don't want to get back in the car and head back to the house. Can you tell me if we locked the front door?" So I was able to log in and text them right back saying, "Yep, everything's locked up. You're good to go." And they said, "Great, thank you so much. And oh, by the way, we forgot to leave the foyer light on. We're going to be getting home late tonight. Can you turn that on for us?" Absolutely. Happy to do it. And then their last request was, "We're going to be getting home around 11 o'clock tonight. And I know the pool heat and the spa heat normally turns off around 10. Would you mind extending that a few extra hours tonight so when we get home tonight, we can relax in the spa?" Absolutely. I can do all of that remotely and create a very wonderful guest experience that they feel they're being catered to, listened to, and they really do believe that I want their experience to be a good one. So, again, not all technology is useful, but I have found some great and very useful technologies that allow me to self manage from afar. And I'll tell you, most recently, this is probably 3 or 4 months ago, I was in South Korea on a business trip, and I was able to manage the guest experience from South Korea because of the alarm.com dashboard. Doesn't matter where you are in the world, as long as you have access to a signal, cell or Wi-Fi, you can manage your platform.
And alarm.com, I mean, there's the variable outside of the guest stay as well. It really, I mean, we in episode 106, we talked about cleaning and cleaning companies. Thank you to our sponsor, as always, cleaningbnb.com. But I think when we talk about the cleaning companies and the time, you cannot cheat time, was one of our key takeaways from that episode. Just being able to see what time the cleaning company checks into the house via they unlock the door using their own key code, and then they exit using and lock up using their own key card. That provides some insights as well as you're holding your vendors and your cleaning companies accountable to their performance, which only goes to amplify and ensure a great guest experience. So a lot of these technologies, you're really using them for the full aspect of running your business. And they really, alarm.com, I use it as well. I really love, I have it set up so that I get a text message whenever, the key code is used on the front door, just so that I know, who's coming in and who's coming out of that space. That's very helpful for me to always feel like I have, you know, I have a temperature of what's going on at the house. If I'm getting a bunch of key codes at 1 in the morning, okay, well, my fears that I talked about earlier may be coming to fruition. So I'll check the noise and occupancy and the fresh air smoking detection and all of those pieces. But they're really there to give you that peace of mind. And I love that with alarm.com, you're able to centralize so many of these technologies versus logging in and out of countless different apps and websites and opening different apps on your phone. I love that centralized aspect.
You mentioned at the very beginning of this podcast that technology can be very useful to the owner that wants to self manage, but we have to make sure we don't cross the line of privacy. So
Correct.
I've got 3 cameras installed. I've got one installed on the front of the house that looks out towards the street, and I
Yep.
do that for safety and security. I've got another camera that looks out over the pool equipment. I want to make sure that no one is vandalizing the pool equipment.
Yep. And
And
just
then
the
I've
pool
got
equipment, not the pool.
that's exactly right. A lot of people want to put a camera out on the pool. You can't do it. You
Nope.
can't do anything. You can't install a camera that's going to invade the privacy or give you visibility into the guest enjoying your home. That's just, you can't do it. It's against the law. You don't want to do it. It's not ethical. I also have a video doorbell camera. And let me tell you about how this one came in useful most recently. I noticed that when a guest was trying to check in, so this was day one, they were just checking in, I received several alerts that the key code failed. Key code failed. I get that alert on my cell phone saying a guest is trying to enter the home and the code they're entering is not working. Well, that caused me to scratch my head. So, what did I do? I logged into the video doorbell camera and I went on speaker and I said, "Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Guest, looks like you're having some trouble with the key code. What code are you entering? They told me the key code. We were able to converse back and forth using the speaker on the video doorbell. I was able to resolve that issue for them, reissue a new key code because something was going wrong with the original one. And I was able to do it in less than 5 minutes because of number one, the keypad, the digital keypad, but number two, my ability to interact with the guest via the speaker on the video doorbell. So, again, we've got to make sure we never cross the line of invading privacy, but there are several ways to utilize technology to enhance the guest experience and to solve problems real time on behalf of the guest.
Yeah, those the outward facing cameras from the home that look out, you know, toward the front of the home. I mean, those are, I think of some of the extreme weather we're seeing around the country, in the winter months right now as we're man, spring. Let's get here quickly. But, as we think about some of these extreme weathers events, I think of hurricanes that we had last year, and just having access to those cameras on the exterior of the space. I didn't have anyone staying at the house, but what I didn't want to do was drive over to the house in the middle of a hurricane to see what the water levels were like on the retention pond across the street. And so the ability to just look out there and say, okay, this is an investment, this is my business, I have a lot of money invested into this business. I want the peace of mind to know what's going on, that if I wasn't hunkering down for the hurricane, if I was across the country, I would have visibility into what was going on. And you better believe that it got to a point there where I was like, all right, well, this retention pond's getting pretty darn full. I got to watch it. I got to watch it. Keep logging in. What's going on? What's going on? And, I always felt like I had clear understanding around what was going on at my property during some of those extreme weather periods. If you're in Colorado or, the north, and you've got some storms, some snowstorms coming in, it's good to understand what the state of that property is as that snow starts to pile up. And maybe you're, paying a company to shovel driveways or shovel sidewalks, and you kind of want to see what the status of that is. There's just so much visibility and empowerment that comes from having those technologies installed, both from a guest experience, from managing vendors, but then also getting insights into what's going on the exterior of your property at any given time. There's so much benefit to making this investment that I can't advocate for it enough for individuals who are in the vacation rental space.
So, we had a tropical storm come through. This was not the
Hmm.
hurricane, but a tropical storm. And we have a pond right across the street from the house.
Hmm.
And in Florida, anytime there's water, there's probably going to be a few alligators.
For sure.
Well, during this tropical storm, the water level kept going up and up and up and up. And all of a sudden, those alligators that used to be in the pond were now in my front yard. Well, the guest that was staying at the house was a repeat guest. So we're getting to know them pretty well. I simply reached out to them via text and said, "Hey, guest, you might not want to go outside. There's a little alligator in your front yard. I'll keep an eye on it." And a couple hours later, we saw the alligator just about face head back to their pond. And I was able to give them the thumbs up, good to go. Alligators back in their home territory. So, again, little things, but if you put your lens on of what are the things that we can do to support the guest, to help the guest out? As an example, this morning, reached out to the guest that we have checking out tomorrow and said, "Hey, don't forget daylight savings. If you have a flight tomorrow, remember the clocks are going to advance an hour." It's always through the lens of hospitality. How can we utilize our technologies to support hospitality and create a better guest experience? And Tim, you and I both know that if you live in Central Florida, one of the best providers of these technologies is alssecuritysolutions.com. They're not a sponsor. We don't get
Nope.
anything for recommending them. They're just a great provider in Central Florida. alssecuritysolutions.com. owner's name is
Yeah,
Arthur Brown, does a
Arthur and his
terrific
team.
job. Every
Yeah.
community probably has an ALS security solutions, but in Central Florida, they're one of the leaders. Companies like this all over the country using alarm.com as their centralized platform. I, I think we both encourage all owners self-managing to look at technologies and how they can solve problems and enhance the guest experience.
And ALS, a company like ALS Security Solutions, Arthur and his team, their specialty is going to be in technology. And so, sometimes we'll come across an opportunity that we have in our property, and we'll go to the expert and we say, "Hey, here's what we're dealing with. Any technology that you see on your end that could benefit us." And then from there, their team specializes in the integration, having all of these technologies come together on alarm.com. Self-managing, as we all know, doesn't mean you have endless time to be digging through trying to integrate all of these technological solutions into your alarm.com platform. But again, being the business leader you are, you're going to go to the expert that's going to help you with these integrations, and finding these experts and working with these business experts will only accelerate your ability to integrate some of these key technologies or improve upon technologies you already have in the space. So, ALS Security Solutions, not a sponsor, but Arthur, you're welcome. Because we've had a lot of success with him, and definitely look for that technology integrator in your area to work with in your business. So, TC, another great episode 107. How we get to all these technology solutions is, all the stories we have and all the learnings we have and all the obstacles we come across. But, it again just goes back to leverage technology to help you self-manage, because self-managing is really a key component of a successful financial model and execution of a business model. And we'll definitely in these coming episodes dig into the money making aspects and business modeling, financial modeling you need to be successful in the space. But I really think it's been imperative that we spend these first 7 to 10 episodes really talking about the foundation, really talking about the non-negotiables of operating this business. I think it was episode 2 or 3 that we talked about. You're not buying a set it and forget it business. You are buying a business that you have to operate. And there's a lot of great strategies and solutions and models out there that will help you do it. And hopefully, in our first 7 episodes, we've been able to provide you with a foundational knowledge so that you feel more empowered to either enter the space of vacation rentals or really dig down and improve on your current vacation rental. So, TC, as always, your stories and insights are appreciated. And I think we've got some nice momentum here as we start to really ramp up the business side of running a vacation rental.
And during the episode on cleaning, you remember I channeled my inner Don Henley,
Yes. Yep.
their little
You built your
secrets.
album.
And I think going forward, I'm going to start channeling my James Taylor, and we'll talk about the money machine.
Okay. We can't afford the music rights though, so we're just gonna have to say the names. We will not. Yeah.
I could sing it.
Sorry if
I could sing it,
right.
but our director Ari will probably tell me I have to pay a royalty for that.
Yeah, I think I asked Ari if we could do our own sing our own intro song, and she told me to shut up. So we're not going to be doing that. But as always, everyone, thanks for taking the time to listen. Thanks for taking the time, hopefully, to learn and improve your business model. And we'll keep providing content if you keep listening. So like, subscribe, tell your friends, and we look forward to coming at you again for episode 108 soon. Thanks, everyone.